Seattle. And only 8 o'clock in the morning, and it was as hot as a grill. 4 friends, Jack, Wendy, BK, and Ronald, sat sizzling in Jack's house when one of them had an idea for a road trip. So they all decided to go to In-N-Out. But the closest In-N-Out was Grants Pass, Oregon. So they decided to start right away. Firstly, they needed energy for the trip. So Ronald suggested McDonald's because they had all-day breakfast. So they went there and got 8 muffins. Ronald ate 5 of them. After an hour on the road, Ronald started moaning like a zombie. And before they can ask what happened, he vomited everywhere. It splattered and splattered everywhere, and the smell was so horrible that it made BK throw up, which made Wendy throw up, which made Jack throw up. Now Jack's grandpa's vintage van was now a vintage vomit van. They pulled over, went into a convenience store, and bought the strongest chemical cleaner they can find. And it was only after they poured half the bottle, they noticed the warning label on the side saying it could damage the materials. They watched in terror and horror as parts of the car turned white. Now, Jack was having a mental breakdown and wondering how his grandpa was going to react to this. So, to take the worry off of him, Wendy drove to his favorite restaurant, Jack in the Box. But unfortunately, it was filled with a bunch of people who had just finished a marathon. So they went to the only place left in town, Wendy's. Now, Wendy was pretty upset because how unpopulated it was compared to Jack in the Box. But was still happy enough to eat there. As they all went in, Wendy asked the cashier, "Hey, why do you have no one here?" And the cashier sneezed, rubbed his nose, coughed into his hand, and said, "I don't know. What do you want?" Wendy saw all that and said, "I'll just have a Frosty." All the boys who didn't notice anything all ordered a meal. When they were eating, Jack noticed something slimy in his burger. And he asked, "Wendy, what's this in my burger?" Wendy replied, "Oh, it's their special sauce." Jack nodded and ate it hungrily, saying it was really good. A few more hours on the road, their AC broke down, so the vents were pouring hot air into their faces. So they said, "Oh, quickly roll down the window." So they all rolled down the window on the van, but they were met with even hotter air with a bunch of smoke. BK noticed a sign on the road saying, "Fire danger up to extreme." And no doubt, there was a huge grass fire on the side of the road. So they all decided, we should roll up the windows. So they rolled up the windows, but it was too late for Wendy. So she was like, and she fainted. So they went off the freeway, and luckily there was a Burger King nearby, so they went there, got a bunch of cold drinks, bunch of water to splash onto Wendy, so she can feel better. And that's when BK asked the cashier and said, "What's up with the fire?" And they said, "We had some problems with our flame broiling." After Wendy was feeling a lot better, and they were ready to get back on the road, but they couldn't because it's blocked off. The firefighters were trying to extinguish the grass fire, so they had to wait hours and hours and hours before they can get back on the road. 10 o'clock, they were back on the road. And at midnight, only 10 miles away from In-N-Out, the car suddenly swerved off the road and landed in a ditch. They heard with a loud bang, the tire had popped. So they had to walk the rest of the way there. Now, while they were walking, some were ahead, some were behind, and BK was in the front. And after a few miles of walking, they heard a muffled scream. Jack, Wendy, and Ronald ran up and found BK lying in the ditch, filled with garbage, mud, and a bunch of raccoons. And so they all tried to pull him out, but one of them slipped and they all fell in. Now they were filthy, stinky, and furry. So they continued the rest of, but they weren't that surprised because considering their luck that day, it wasn't that good. As they continued, they were about to give up when Jack yelled, "I see it!" And they looked up and saw the lights of In-N-Out flashing like the Emerald City. They all cheered, but BK asked, "What time is it?" 1:55. "And what time does it close?" 2 o'clock. "Run!" They sprinted up the hill, and they were about to get to the In-N-Out door when they found a guy closing it and locking it. Jack couldn't take anymore, so he broke down sobbing. The guy heard it, turned around, said, "Oh, hey man, sorry, it's closed. You want the leftovers?" Jack looked up pleadingly. Yes, please." And so they took the bag, sat down on the curb, and dug in. BK said, "Oh, this was worth it." Wendy said, "Oh, although my food is cold and smashed, this was the best burger ever." Jack said, I guess, but I wish it had that special sauce."